Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell, and if you're new to this video and you haven't seen any of my other videos or my other videos on my other channel that YouTube has silenced me on, or my website where my website silenced me, yeah, we're under attack, guys. This is a serious war that we're in, and only the rich are able to keep from being affected by it, but all us little folk, we're getting slammed on. And so here in Utah, I am suing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that's what this playlist is about. And the previous one, I'm not sure what I did on that. It's been a while. But I thought I'd put it in this category because I've decided to go over each and every single count to let you know what's going on with the case. To update you, I originally filed on the 30th of September 2019, and they took too long, and the church, the defendant, were escalating as they were committing more and more crimes, and so I brought out more and more of the crimes in what I termed as an addendum, and then the court didn't get back to me quick enough, and so I did another addendum because more crimes were coming out. The second one was a result of the church demanding that conversion therapy commence or not go away, because the legislature was wanting to drop it, and the church stepped in and said, no, you keep it. We want it kept. We want to electric shock people and torture them. Don't you dare stop this. And so the LGBTQ community rose up in protest and calling the church insensitive, but they can't really protest. They have to be nice and say, come on guys, we worked with this, we want to talk. And because that's what you got to do to bullies who are in authority, to stand up and say hell no gets you arrested. And so that's why I'm doing the lawsuit, is because I said hell no and I got arrested. I was disappeared from Utah, from the world, for 6 years of my life because I petitioned the government and the church for a redress of grievances. And that's going to be part of the count that's involved here. But I'm almost 50, and so I've got 50 years of crimes committed by the LDS Church, of which I have been directly affected with. Everything in the church is a crime, and I'm going over all of it. I'm going for the full Monty. I'm shooting the moon, whatever term you want to use. This is war, and the church will go down. And so in this process, you'll get to see how you too can file a lawsuit against the church for what they've done to you, whether you're Mormon, because if you're Mormon, they're doing it to you, and I'm going to explain it as to what exactly they're doing to you. They're extorting you, they're threatening you, and it's ugly. And the fact that you aren't realizing it and that you're sticking with the church is part of the problem. And so those who aren't in the church, you too can file a lawsuit for indirect, and unfortunately it has to be civil cases because the law refuses to allow citizens to file criminal charges against somebody when the prosecution refuses to take the case on your behalf. And so even though defendants automatically get a lawyer if they can't pay for one, we, the people, can't get a lawyer to prosecute our case when we can't afford one. And that's a crime. But in Utah, it's made worse because all the prosecutors are Mormon. And so they want to protect the church. And they have to recuse themselves from prosecution because they're agents of the church. They can't prosecute somebody that they're an agent of. Conflict of interest. And so in Utah, going up against the church has been impossible for people for that reason. They've got their agents everywhere. Not just in government, but in society, in the community, in the economy, businesses owned by the church. And so all of this factors in, all the different businesses, and they got their hands in Valley Behavioral Health, which is the mental care provider. And so yeah, it's ugly, and it needs to be stopped. It cannot be allowed to spread more than it's already spreading. It's a cancer, literally a cancer, as it destroys societies, it destroys the world. And that's exactly what a cancer does to someone's body. And so I guess I'll give you the main premise for this. When filing a civil suit, I have to still provide the federal laws, because it's in federal court, not state court. I have to provide the laws upon which I am making my accusations. And so each of these videos I'll be doing for each count will go over the law that the church is violating. Now, unfortunately, our system of justice has made it so that you have to have a law or there is no crime. So with the internet, people are more than welcome to come and steal our information from our computers because there is no law against it. So that's the problem we face, is that our Constitution says that when somebody violates life, liberty, and property, they're committing a crime. And so you don't need specific laws to identify when someone has been violated of their life, liberty, and property. For example, stealing information from somebody's computer, property. Duh. And so you don't need a specific law when internet became invented. And so it's not complicated, and yet our government has made it complicated. And the purpose for that is so that the average citizen can't seek justice on their own when they can't get a prosecutor to do the job they're supposed to do for us. So stay tuned. It's going to be a wild and bumpy ride. But yeah, their agents are escalating against us, against me, against everybody, and directly in my life as well, as I watch them as they commit the crime of lying in wait. That's a crime, if you didn't know that. It indicates that there's premeditation involved, and it just boggles my mind how people in authority abuse their authority and cover it up with more crime. And it's just open crime, you know. It just boggles the mind, because they think they've set up a system to protect themselves. And yeah, it just blows my mind. So let's begin.